Cool. Just about to get started here in just a sec, guys. Make sure audio levels are good. Make sure I got chat on. Cool. Alright, it's just about 12. Welcome back, guys. My name is Trent Manager. I run MTV Patron. I'm here to teach you guys today. Here, let me start that over. Welcome back if you're new. If you're here for the live stream, this is your first time, my name is Trent. On this channel, I teach cryptocurrency analysis, technical analysis, teachings, video lessons, anything to get you caught up to speed and understood with cryptocurrency space. Today, guys, we got a ton of stuff going over that we had going over the weekend. We got a lot of articles to read. We're going from Miami all the way. We're going before Congress on Robinhood's case. We're going to be hopping to Nigeria's crypto ban. We're going to hop on Mark Cuban as well. Mark Cuban has been very active these past couple weeks in the sense of the space. Apple adoption. We got a lot of stuff has happened over these past couple of days. I know we had a long weekend. Going into this weekend, President's Day yesterday, I totally forgot. The markets were closed yesterday as well, but as you know, cryptocurrency markets do not sleep 24/7, 365 days a year. So we do not stop, which is actually awesome. Let me just do this real quick, guys. Make sure everything's okay. I don't think anyone's in here to give me the double check for the chat, but no worries. I can just pull you up. But I hope you guys had a great weekend, great long weekend. If you had work today or you had work off yesterday, definitely know that was great. I know I had a little bit of a lighter day just for President's Day going on tomorrow, yesterday, which is freaking awesome. I know every day kind of feels like a weekend. Awesome. So, whoops. Just gotta test the audio load. Started just a second here. Okay, perfect. Awesome, guys. So I tried to make sure the audio levels were good. I know we've been having a lot of audio problems and still working on the webcam situation as well, just because we just got a lot of technicals going on with the live stream. But I'm loving the live stream, so it's definitely okay. So no worries at all. No big deal on that end. Alrighty, guys. Let's just hop right into it. Just started about 3 minutes late, but no big deal. So just like we talked about last week, guys, we kind of what we recovered last week, if we just want to jump back into what we covered last week. So week of 12/8/21 to 12/12/21, we were covering some CME futures, which crypto based projects are based on Ethereum. We were going over a bunch of decentralized finance. We were just talking about also should Apple launch their own crypto, and if they were to launch their own cryptocurrency, their ICO token, which is ICO is an initial coin offering, just as the same way stocks and others present themselves into the space. We covered up that last week. We talked about MasterCard last week. We talked about IBM's bank's executions, their first in Australia. One of the country's oldest banks had ended up going into blockchain, and we're giving the acceptance and the adoption. So we're just seeing really mass adoption going on right now, guys. It's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happens every day, not only just in the space, but decentralized finance, dApps, NFTs, just like we've covered over weeks and weeks and weeks. We've been covering this stuff, and we're starting to see that steam really pick up with a lot of these bigger announcements. People coming into the space. Apple, Mark Cuban talking. Elon, of course, we've talked about that. So you can see now over these past couple of weeks the pickup of pace and the speed direction change of really where we're going and how we're doing it. So, jeez. Alrighty, guys. So the first one I really just wanted to hop into. Let's go back to our main round of today. So today we are gonna open. Oh, whoops! I'm still on the same one. Cool. Awesome. Sorry, guys, we're having I just want to make sure that I can see certain things on here. Okay, here I'm just gonna do this because I know the audio's good, so no worries. Alright, I'll just have that down over here. Alright, guys. So I'm actually introducing a new thing now. I'm actually gonna do the timer or stopwatch just because I was going back in my live streams, kind of just analyzing myself. Definitely sometimes I can get a little wordy and get a little off topic with, or not even really off topic, but really get into depth. But that's really what this is all about. So I know you guys really don't mind it, but me personally, I just want to make sure that I'm covering everything accurately and in the the best way possible. So I'm gonna start a timer just for the first segment. I'm gonna try to keep it to 10 minutes. Try to squeeze as much as I can in 10 minutes. If I go over, it's okay, but I just want to do this for right now, so I'll definitely get this started. So hopping right into Miami, I also have some clips today, guys, to show you. I brought in a lot of good visuals today. But going over first, Miami's mayor previews favorable cryptocurrency policies. Francis X. Suarez, I believe that's how you say his name. I've been following him for quite a while. As you remember, a couple weeks ago, we had hopped into the possibility of Miami in Florida, the city of Miami, launching cryptocurrency, specifically Bitcoin, for payments of employees, tax renewals and benefits, so tax returns coming back to you, even you being paid in Bitcoin is a possibility in Miami here, which is pretty freaking awesome. So Miami, so just a quick intro, Miami Mayor Francis X. Suarez wants his South Florida city to be the hub for cryptocurrency, following in the footprints of crypto forward polls in the United States of Wyoming and New York. The Republican mayor is working on the ambitions that set rules or regulations to turn beachside into a teeming sandbox. A draft of these new rules could be revealed as early as next week's, he told CoinDesk. So this was a little bit old. This was on February 3rd, and we got a follow-up clip for that. This was just from last week, and this is when he actually just kind of first announcement, or just announced it. But the reason I cover back over it is just because he not only said these things a week ago, but now he is following up these things, and the procedure is now catching up to speed. So he is not only now just proposed this to the city of Miami and pretty much the whole state in general, but he has now pretty much executed this as well. So there's still some kinks that have got to be worked out, and there are things that regulatory rules, especially for cities and states and treasuries, that need to be played out. But just the fact of this being on the table and how fast this was actually scooped up off his desk and pushed to a higher power is pretty incredible. So going on to the quote, "We're excited to be a trend-setting city for the forefront of crypto and blockchain technology," Suarez said over Zoom Tuesday, dialing in from inevitable Ocean View office. "We want to make sure that there's no city or state that has more favorable laws and regulations." So that is fucking huge. Oh my goodness, I did not mean to cuss. I'm so sorry, guys. I know this. I got some younger kids in here for sure as well. But this right here is crazy. Just the ripple wave, just the way I compare it to the best I can is the influence. It's really all about the influence. No one wants to be first and no one wants to be last. That's with majority of business, and that's with majority of things. No one likes to be the first one getting in the pool, and then whether it's either too cold or too hot, no one likes to get out of the pool and say, hey, it's not ready yet. But with Tesla, what we see with Tesla, what we see with Miami, and what we see with a lot of other banks and institutions is that it's pretty much a domino effect. We're following the footsteps of other individuals. So when Mark Cuban, when Suarez, when Elon, when Tim Cook, Mr. Cook, all, come forward and say these things, these aren't people that are, stupid. These are people who understand the technology, who understand the potential, who understand the adoption, and they understand the potential moving forward, what this is going to have. Just really that being said, it's really, we're seeing a lot of domino effects. We're seeing people, intense FOMO, fear of missing out. If you guys didn't know exactly what FOMO was, that happens with institutions as well, not only just retail investors. But we're seeing institutions, mainly institutions right now, follow in these in these footsteps. They're looking at Miami and being, hey, like you're pretty crazy. We don't know how you're doing this or what you're doing, but we're not so sure about this. But it's gonna take a sec, I think, for city adoption, especially on the scale of Miami, which is good for Miami because, as you know, it's a huge tourist attraction. I don't know if you where you guys are from or in the U.S. or not, but when I used to live on the East Coast in Maryland, we would go down to Miami in Florida for spring break. So that's a huge tourist attraction. Majority of people love everyone knows really Miami. That's Vice City, the 80s, or retro. It's a very well known place, and just to have that as a hub, as possibility for cryptocurrency, and just have that the most readily available city. Oh, dude, that's just crazy. That truly is just unreal. So keeping that highlighted here, I'll take that just off, but this is a great quote by him, and I think that is I think that's truly amazing, how fast and how quickly we are moving. Because we got plenty more charts to show, but just before we end the stream, I'll show you 3 months ago, where we were exactly at, just 3 months ago, and the exponential growth is phenomenal. Okay, cool. We're still 4 minutes in. So I'll move on to the next portion of this. There's another quote I believe he did in the interview as well. I'll play the clip just shortly. This includes making sure that there's regulatory environments for businesses to become characterized banks like Kraken, Avante. Those two right here, these are just exchanges, to buy cryptocurrency. And I'll be having a short clip to show you guys how to do that and, where to do that if you would like. I can run through how you can buy Bitcoin and send that to an external wallet, set up your account, sign up for free. If that's something you guys want to see, then send me a DM or send me a chat for sure. So sorry, I lost my train of thought. As welcoming crypto exchanges to operate in the city, Suarez said he's looking at Wyoming's legislative structure. He's been in touch with Kathy Long, that's state's pioneer in New York's regulatory structure. I'll post some more in the Patreon, or I'll just post more in general. But Miami is just the first city that has actually, declared this and had this scooped up for the paperwork. But New York, I don't know if you follow Mr. Yang. I think he was the Democratic. I think he was running for president at one point. He was trying to, but never to bring politics on this stream at all. But I think it's not only awesome, just to chime in real quick, I think that's awesome that not only are you seeing blue and red come together in the fact of cryptocurrency and acceptance, but you're now seeing, I guess, a more helpful structure. I guess with it, I think just the divide that we've had over the past year and a half, 2 years, pretty much for a while now, people haven't been able to see eye to eye with mostly literally anything. But just the fact that you're seeing a red governor come open forward and show these traits and show these possibilities for what this can do for your city, and not only for your city, for your employees, your family. It just shows it's a lot bigger than just money. It's a lot bigger than money. It's, financial independence. It's, generational wealth. It's things that are going to make your life easier and make it so you can do what you want to do, when you want to do them. So I think that's amazing that Miami is showing influence on New York, which is they call New York, I think JFK, the airport is known as the gateway. Gateway to the world, because people coming all over from the world will usually fly through New York, depending where you're coming from, the side of the world. Don't quote me on that, but it just shows the acceptance and it's just the multiple mass adoption we have, and the influence is there. So I just wanted to express that real quick, especially with Suarez, his influence on New York and Wyoming, which is very odd. I'm gonna have to do some more research on that as to why he's working with Wyoming. But there are things that they know that we don't know. So which is really, really great. Everybody has limiting authority, he said, adding, I will meet with anybody. I will be happy to meet with Florida's governor about it. So that just shows they're ready. They're here. They're ready to try their best to understand this and figure out regulations for this and keep moving forward. Let's see. I just got to skip. I don't think really this is too much else important. I think he covers this in the video we're about to watch. So we will actually save this. We don't need to worry about the snowbirds coming down and all that. But that is good for adoption, influence, and overall exposure for retail investors like you and I. So you, retail investors, you, me, grandma, the people that aren't just the big institutions, Square, PayPal, BlackRock, all those, bigger dudes that have all that capital to do what they need to do all the time. So here, let's play this short clip for you guys. It's only about 3 minutes long, so we're gonna start from the very beginning. So I will definitely make sure the audio levels are good for you guys. Make sure it's not blowing your guys' ears off.
I'm showing you Bitcoin again because it hit almost $40,000 earlier this morning, and because the mayor of Miami wants to put some of the city's treasury reserves into Bitcoin.
Oh, whoops. So sorry.
The mayor of Miami is Francis Suarez.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm literally on the wrong screen. That's not good, because you guys can't see the video. So sorry, guys. I'm going to start that over.
I'm showing you Bitcoin again because it hit almost $40,000 earlier this morning, and because the mayor of Miami wants to put some of the city's treasury reserves into Bitcoin. The mayor of Miami is Francis Suarez, and he's with us now. Sir, welcome back to the show. You're putting government money into a very volatile cryptocurrency. You want to explain why you're doing that?
Sure. If I would have done it last year, I would have made 200+%. So I would have looked like a genius. But we want to be one of the most
Jeez.
crypto forward
I love this
and
guy.
technological cities in the country. So we're looking at number one, creating a regulatory framework that makes us the easiest place in the United States to do business if you're doing it in cryptocurrencies. We're looking at laws from Wyoming, Wisconsin, and New York, a regulatory environment. And we have a tremendous amount of interest in tech right now. So we're looking at a variety of things from being able to make payments in crypto, in Bitcoin in particular, being able to pay your taxes, being able to pay fees to the city. And then, yes, we are looking at the possibility of diversifying our investment portfolio and having and holding a percentage of our investments in Bitcoin.
Is this all part of your move to bring high-tech companies, big tech companies to Miami? I know you've got good weather. I know you've got low taxes. Are you using a Bitcoin investment as a further inducement?
It is. I think the world is watching, and the world is always seeing all the things that cities do. If you're inviting, that's something that cities are benefiting from, like we are. I want the creative and the innovative class to come here and create high-paying jobs for my residents. And certainly, there is an enormously large crypto and Bitcoin community, particularly on social media, and they are carefully watching as these assets become more and more mainstream. The more that organizations like the City of Miami and others mainstream Bitcoin, there's only one direction that the prices are going to go, because we know that the supply of money is limited. It's only going to go up.
You know, that gets everybody worried. When anybody says, oh, there's only one direction in which this investment can go, and that is up. Oh, look at the limited supply. It's bound to go up. You know, Your Honor, those could be famous last words, couldn't they?
They could be, and certainly if some government entity decides to try to regulate it out of existence, that's always a threat, and that's always a possibility. But the reality is, it's been, although it is volatile, and I will admit that it is, it just dropped a certain percentage. It went down to 36,000. Now it's already back up in almost a week to its high of 41,000. The fact that it is limited, the fact that other governments use currencies to do a variety of things that have nothing to do necessarily with the exchange of goods, but to implement public policy, I think has made Bitcoin a very attractive investment for many people.
Okay. Alrighty. That was awesome. That was great. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Okay, I have no idea what happened there, but awesome. That was great, guys. So if you actually let's go back just a second and let's hear what he said. Here, let me make sure I'm good on time, because I know I said it. Oh, we're actually over, but let me just finish up this last thought. So when he said regulation, and he was talking about regulate, only going up. Yes. It does seem like that recently. This is a volatile asset. This is something that will drop 25% and then be gobbled up and brought back up to its original price tag within hours to maybe a couple days. Just in the sense, and I don't like saying this, and I'm gonna try to put this in the best way possible, because I don't like, being a moon boy, but this really is something that is only going to continue to develop. It's simple. Supply capped, demand unlimited. It's simple economics. It's really, if you have less of something and it cannot be reproduced, and that is it when it is done, that makes it that much more valuable. So that's honestly where I'm just gonna end on this. I'll let that sit with you guys. It's something that I love. I hate saying it, but I love saying it. But it is really truly simple economics. It's there's a lot of psychology that goes into investing, and it's a lot deeper than you just taking your money out of your bank account and then putting it into something that you love. So I'll leave it right there, and we'll cover that more just a little bit later. Absolutely. Let's restart that. So awesome, guys. We will move on from that. So also hopping into some other great news just in Africa, or not even really great news actually. Any publicity is good publicity. That's the way that I like to see it, especially in the way of cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin Nigeria bites back against cryptocurrency trading. So they actually did end up banning the use of cryptocurrency all throughout Nigeria. So you cannot buy, you cannot trade, you cannot exchange. Anything that is regarding of cryptocurrency, you cannot do. So not a bad thing. So let me explain why this is not a bad thing. And we also have a clip to explain this as well. It's a short 4-minute one as well. But really getting into why good publicity, any publicity is good publicity. So I hope in this clip that they put the president up there as the way he talked. So or what he said. So what he did quote in one of these videos that I did watch about him is that the move for this specifically was to not enable cryptocurrency for Nigerians for the fact of it replacing their original currency. I don't know how familiar you guys are with just overall world news and, just different country news, economics. Like, you living in the U.S., we have the best economy in the entire world. People come here from all over the world to come here and participate in our market. I'll give some homework for you guys and we can do that. We're going to look up some other charts around the world and you're going to see how bad other people's stock markets are. Like Japan, it is a volatile mess. Like you thought crypto was bad. Like you go over there and look at their like S&P, like their definition of S&P and all what they got over there. It is struggling. It is so ridiculously hard to like even trading out the window, investing. Oh my gosh, like might as well come here. You might as well just find anywhere else but there. Same thing with really Nigeria. They've had multiple economic collapses of issues with, from government rebellions, overprinting on money printing, the same issues, we're really having endless supply of fiat currency. There's been a lot of multiple catastrophic events economically that have caused Nigeria to get to where, they are right now. So getting paid, I'll just read this first paragraph right here. A few weeks ago, I was notified that payment for work has been made for PayPal. I had provided it wasn't the first time. I've been working with this company for most of 2020. So PayPal Nigeria, as you can tell, they have Bitcoin ATMs and all that jazz. So PayPal is pretty huge in Africa, actually. It is actually the majority way of payments over there. And also, Africa is one of the, if not one of the biggest hubs for cryptocurrency. And it's not just, Nigeria, just like the United States, you got separate, areas of, of Africa, but just Nigeria itself, decided to cut that out of the picture. But, I believe I'll do some more research, but Zimbabwe, Zuma, Madagascar, like there are so many other, spots in Africa that are embracing this type of currency. And who are taking it under their wing and either making it their main currency of their, of their area or are, pushing it to, further, state or country adoption, which is phenomenal. But sticking on the Nigeria issues, I believe their main reasons, mainly their couple reasons was the fear of losing their main position of currency of power, the need for adjustments. I know like it seems crazy, but going from United States to Africa to Europe, it's different financially. There are certain things that we can do in the U.S. that are quicker. That can happen quicker in the United States versus Africa, not only from just population size, but just from, regulations, adoptions, overall just history of the location you're in. There's a lot of things that go behind the transition, especially currency and just the way that you are going to govern your residents of payments and your companies. There is a lot, and I can understand as to why they took this approach so quickly and so fast. So honestly, that's really one of the main. I think it's really one of the couple reasons as to why they did do this. I'm gonna play a clip for you guys right here, as to what they're really a little bit deeper because I don't live in Africa, so I may not get the most accurate news. But BBC News Africa does pretty good. So we can definitely give that a roll. So let's double check. Cool, we're doing perfect on time, so this will fit in perfect. So we'll get that a play right now.
Nigeria is the world's second largest user of digital currencies, trading more than 60,000 Bitcoins since 2015, which is almost $3 billion. But the country's central bank has told financial institutions to stop dealing in or facilitating payment for cryptocurrency exchange. Before we go on, let's clarify what they are. Cryptocurrencies are digital assets, or money. Their transactions are stored in a database called blockchain, which is a group of connected computers that record transactions in real time. The central bank's directive received backlash on social media, with people saying the clampdown may simply force Nigerians to use dollars when trading in cryptocurrency. Before now, Nigerians could buy cryptocurrency with the naira.
If you have an offshore account, if you have a dollar account, we've seen people run into Ghana to open bank accounts just to transact in cryptocurrency. So if you have an account in some other country or with some other currency, you can't still trade in cryptocurrency.
Despite the backlash, Nigeria's central bank appears to have doubled down, stating that the banking restrictions on crypto companies were nothing new, and insisting that the cryptocurrencies pose a risk to individuals and the country's financial systems because they're issued by unknown, unregulated entities.
It's not necessarily because people use cryptocurrencies for criminal activities, like they said in the memo, because I mean, people use nairas for criminal activities also. I mean, all the kidnappers that be kidnapping people all over the country, they ask for naira. They don't ask for cryptocurrencies. So why didn't the CBN just go and say, look, people should stop using naira? I just don't want to find myself in a situation where I'll be invited by some security apparatus to come and answer questions. You never know what.
Sorry, apologize. By the way, do not let anyone tell you that Bitcoin is just only used for criminals and bad things and all that jazz, because 95% of all criminal activity is used through cash. And if you know anything about cash, it is the exact same features of cryptocurrency. You have no idea where that cash came from, how it came to be, or the amount it is in. There's no log for cash. So I just want you guys to remember that. That is I hate when people say that. That makes me very, very mad, because 95% of money laundering happens through cash. So
you will see that gets these people pissed off.
As the use and interest in digital money has grown in popularity, a number of African countries have chosen to place restrictions on them. The central bank's constraints are bound to have a significant impact not just on Nigerians, but on the financial technology space as a whole.
I think some of the implications of this particular restriction will be, you'll see, definitely some limitation in the amount of innovation you see in the fintech space, because this is kind of like the next, fintech revolution, and this limit will really make it harder for people to access crypto.
Towards the end of 2020, Nigeria's Securities and Exchange Commission announced plans to regulate digital assets, classifying crypto assets as securities which may be offered to the public. The CBN's directive technically makes it illegal to buy these securities.
The truth here is that the cryptocurrency as an industry is not legal and is not illegal. So there's no law and there's no regulation on it. So when you bring an argument saying that because there's no enabling law that declared the cryptocurrency market as illegal, therefore the CBN has no powers to instruct banks not to transact with cryptocurrency exchanges. That's not a very valid argument, because the cryptocurrency market as it is now is a gray area in the law. There's no law in it. So the central bank does have the power to instruct banks. The question now is where a cryptocurrency exchange registers with the SEC, becomes approved, virtual assets are approved, does it mean that such cryptocurrency exchange cannot run a bank account?
The conflicting position of the country's regulators highlight the lack of policy coordination of the government.
Africa illustrates one of the most profound use cases for crypto, and it's crypto will develop faster in Africa generally. Why? Because there are less existing financial services infrastructure.
I think the future of cryptocurrency is very bright in the entire continent, because the truth of the matter is the people actually ahead of all these regulations that CBN is trying to put in place. Not every country across Africa is going to take this stance that CBN is taking.
Nigeria's central bank may have added new hurdles for crypto transactions, but it's unlikely the enthusiasm around cryptocurrency will dwindle anytime soon.
Alrighty, awesome. So they pretty much talked about exactly, really, pretty much what we covered earlier. I had I learned something new even. I didn't know just about this. This is something that I had talked about beforehand. Not Africa as a whole banning cryptocurrency. It's just individual parts. I think they had there you go. Egypt. Oops. had Egypt. I think let's see, Egypt was restricted. Nigeria. I think the dark ones might actually. I think the dark ones might be banned, and then the light ones might be adopting or currently getting there. I'm not exactly sure, but they didn't have a key on there. But no big worries at all. But yeah, you can rewatch that. I'll link that in the Patreon for you guys. I think that was definitely a good one, in the way they explained it and how they're gonna get back on, figure out what they need to do for laws and everything, because this is something that is not going to be stopped. So it's just something you're going to have to adjust with and make accommodations with. So 100%, that was a great one and just right on time. So awesome, guys. We're going to move on from Nigeria. I thought this was just a great one overall. It just shows the adoption, not only just what we're having in the United States, guys, but the entire world is here to play, and they are now becoming a little bit more acceptable. We still got some fights to do, but we are for sure getting there, no doubt, guys. Alrighty, so we're going to move over shortly to Mark Cuban, his readings as well. Here, let me get back. Let's move Mark Cuban over. So we have covered weeks and weeks ago. We've chimed in Mark Cuban here and there. We've done videos on him, readings. If you don't know who Mark Cuban is, he's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He was also on Shark Tank, I believe. Huge entrepreneur. Big cryptocurrency guy. He was dating all the way back to like 2016, 2015 for his interest in cryptocurrency, for not only just Bitcoin, Ethereum, Aave, a lot of cryptocurrencies now that were not even close to being on the spectrum that are at the popularity as what they are at now. So he has been in space for a while. He has understood the potential, and I value Mark Cuban's opinion very heavily, and I believe he knows what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing, no doubt. But so really just covering real quick. So Mark Cuban actually came up and said forward. I believe I have a video for this as well. Awesome. So we do. I just looked over and looked to see if we have it. But he hopped on CoinDesk, one of the most reliable information sources for cryptocurrency throughout the entire world. I'm on their email list, so I get their new updates every single day. But really coming back to it, Mark Cuban expresses thoroughly that Ethereum better than Bitcoin is a store value. So we've had there's a lot of talk, at least within the crypto space, that there's a lot of arguments between Bitcoin maximalists, which are people who believe Bitcoin is it, that is it, nothing else, everything else is trash, nothing else will ever do anything great or change the world. It is just Bitcoin and everything else is trash. And then you got Ethereum, maximalists, the same thing. Not really on that spectrum, but usually people like myself, where I put myself on the spectrum is that I'm about half and half right now, especially at least with my portfolios. I'm leaning a little bit more towards ETH just for the potential gain side, just for the upside of what Ethereum has to offer, just because, as you know, higher market cap for Bitcoin, it's a lot harder to, get those 2x, 4x gains, 5x gains, with a higher market cap. If you go smaller with a smaller market cap, let's say we're at 200 billion, then that market cap grows to 800 billion. That's a lot bigger of a gain than it would be for BTC, just because of the market cap size. Just getting back into it, staying focused. The reason he explained this, and just the way he did, I'll play the clip. I'll play the clip towards the end, after I kind of get to the nitty gritty about it. But the way he really explains it is, he explains Ethereum's use. We've talked about smart contracts. We've talked about flash loans. We've talked about the Ethereum network. We've talked endlessly about Ethereum, and we'll go over it briefly just for the newcomers and the people who don't understand. So long story short, you have Ethereum smart contracts. I won't get into it heavy just because I've explained it multiple times on this channel. And long story short, it takes away, first off, the first three traits it pronounces to itself is proof of work, proof of stake, and transparency. So smart contracts are just the exchange between one execution to another, written on an open source for the exact same line of code with no manipulation. So basically, when that code is written, it has to fact check the other end of the spectrum and make sure that code matches up. If it does not, then it will not execute. So just like the same way you would put your Visa card in the soda machine, all those little itty bitty electric transactions that you can't see, you slide that. Let's say you want to buy your Gatorade lemon lime for $2. You scan your credit card, and let's say, I don't even know, your friend calls you over the table, you forget to press in your numbers, you got maybe about like a 30-second timer, and then your transaction is canceled. And then, it doesn't go through. So the same way, that Visa cards, have the exact same structural stepping stones. So you went from the machine, you went from swipe to the transactions being sent to the cloud, waiting for that confirmation of you clicking your order, and then after, if you would have clicked your order, would have beamed down to back to earth, and then would have approved that transaction. But since you failed step 2 out of 4, then it did not execute. Same way with smart contracts and Ethereum. So the way he pushes this, as Ethereum is not just a store of value by far. We have talked about it many times. There are a lot of great features as I just explained. NFTs are one of them, non-fungible tokens. We've talked about that a ton. I actually have a whole article on that on the Patreon, just for you guys getting interested. It's a great way for you to make money as well. As an artist myself, I have considered NFTs. I have a couple I haven't uploaded yet, but they have sold for quite a bit. If we have time, we can go through the NFT warehouse shop, and I can show you guys I think one sold yesterday for, I think, $150 million worth of Ethereum or something like that. But it's truly unreal. You got we'll definitely go over that probably at the end if we got enough time. Absolutely. So let's hop into Mark Cuban's interview. It's pretty short. We can just we'll start from the beginning. We'll go to like 3 minutes, see what he's got to say. I think this is the one I watched. I might have watched a clipped version, so it might not be the exact one I may have uploaded. But let's get right into it.
All right. So joining me today is Mark Cuban. I'm so thrilled to have you here, the billionaire entrepreneur and investor who stars on Shark Tank and owns the Dallas Mavericks. Welcome, Mark. Great to have you here on the Defiant podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of Defiant.
Yay.
I'm a subscriber. Yeah, for sure.
Everyone hear that? Mark Cuban subscribe to the Defiant.
It's a really good newsletter. I appreciate it.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. Mark has made waves recently in DeFi. He's been tweeting about using Aave and buying and selling NFTs. So that's really cool to hear. And I'm really excited to talk about all that stuff with him. But first, let's go back in time a bit and just tell me about your crypto journey. Like, what first got you interested in crypto and Bitcoin, and what was kind of your first reaction to this?
So I'll go back to the beginning. When Coinbase first came out, I like to play with technology. I'm a tech geek and have been for a long time. And so I tried it. Some people sent me some Bitcoin because it was dirt cheap back then and wanted me to see it. But the conversation back then was mostly about it becoming a currency. And, that's why they're called cryptocurrency, which is really a misnomer, right? Because very few of them, if any of them, are actually currencies. And so as somebody who had written software, and I did a lot with distributed databases, my very first company, we were a systems integrator. So I would write, multi-user applications, distributed applications. And then I sold my company to CompuServe, which had a worldwide network that Visa was on. And I did a lot of business with Lotus Notes, which had replication servers. And so I really had an understanding, not as much as some people, but what I felt was a strong understanding on distributed databases and, decentralized databases. And so I was all in on blockchain. But like any other new programming language or platform or anything, there was a long ways to go before blockchain was really going to be ubiquitous. But, even back in the beginning, I remember getting into arguments with people at South by Southwest back then. I was all in on blockchain, but the argument on Bitcoin in particular was always on.
Pause right there, guys, just for a second. I think I got the actual clip.
It was going to be a currency.
I messed up, and I think I pulled in the wrong clip. Let me see if this is the right one.
Because that's a better way to sell it.
Okay, here we go. Awesome. I think we got the right version here, guys. Let me squeeze this in just for a sec.
And if there's thousands of people a day, 2,000 people a day, all they're going to know
Awesome.
Ethereum right now has an advantage over Bitcoin as a store of value and transactional, because as more people get into NFTs, all they're going to know is Ethereum. And they're all going to have to buy Ethereum in order to do it, right?
Wow. Okay. So you think Ether has an advantage over Bitcoin as a store of value?
Right now, for new people coming in, yes.
Wow.
Because here's my logic, and I know everybody's going to bitch at me, right? So if I decide I like digital art, how do I buy digital art?
With Ether.
Yeah. And if there's thousands of people a day, 2,000 people a day coming in, relative to the size of the number of people doing this, right? That's impactful, because every now and then one of them is going to be a whale, and they're going to buy 1,000 Ether, right? And because they want to go out there and be able to buy that big artwork. And then on top of that, you're going to start to see music and entertainment videos and movies, for that matter, posted on OpenSea or Wearable or wherever, right? Because that's a better way to sell it.
That's insane. Okay, that's awesome. There you go. That was the right clip I wanted to go over. So just that explanation right there. I'll get you guys back on the camera. That explanation right there was pitch perfect. I love Mark Cuban for so many different reasons. I actually didn't know that was his first actual startup company. I didn't even know that dude was a tech geek like that. But that is insane. Wow. But just really the best way he explained it. That's one of the bigger advantages, I guess you would have to say, in Ethereum, especially right now for newer people coming in. People look at BTC, people look at Bitcoin, and they're like, "Oh man, $50,000! I don't have $50,000 to do this. Like, there's no way I could afford that." But then, boom, if we go on CoinDesk, if we just want to hop on right here, or Coin Market Cap. Let's say I'm just browsing, oh my gosh, $48,000, but boom, what's right below it? Ethereum. What's Ethereum? Only $1,754. That's freaking awesome. Then, curious, retail investor or whoever I am, open it up. Oh my gosh, like, wow, this is a great chart. Like, wow, this is shown great returns over the, X amount of time or years. And it's the exposure to the spectrum. It's just the exposure to other projects and to, other blockchain innovations and other use cases. So that I think that's really what Mark, I guess, was trying to stretch. And like what I try to stretch too is that Bitcoin's great, fixed supply, awesome, whole BTC store of value, don't have to worry about never have to worry about that getting deflationary, but never be afraid to venture out into the vast land. You got all these coins, and not all of these will make it. A good only 90% of these coins, or I'm sorry, like about only 10% of these coins are going to make, the real stretch up, to keep continuing and provide value to the world and their ecosystem and, become readily adopted. Some of these will not make it, but doing your research continuously and understanding what some of these coins does can give you could possibly really set you up, and you could really put yourself in a great position moving forward for definitely understanding for what a lot of these projects do, because there are some great projects on here that will change the world for sure. I have no doubt in my mind that some of the money that I've invested for myself into some of these projects will end up doing great long term, and continue to provide value, because this space ultimately just isn't for capitalization. It's not just for money. It's for changing the way of how we do finance. How we do peer-to-peer lending. How we do everything financially is about the space, and that's why I'm in it so heavy, and that's why I'm on here to teach you guys, is because there are a lot of projects on here that will ultimately, I believe, change your life. So that's just my words on it. Mark Cuban did a great job of explaining it himself, and I think he's a very smart man, and I really do appreciate his opinion moving forward. No doubt, absolutely. Awesome, guys. So we are gonna hop. Oh, perfect. Just again, good on the stopwatch. I'm gonna start doing that, guys, because I'm really liking that. It keeps me up to date, and it keeps me focused in and out. So hopping back into Apple, guys. So we're gonna hop into Apple's. This is honestly probably the most exciting piece of news of the day, I would probably say, is Apple's users can now spend in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Who would have thought? I believe this was posted yesterday. but no worries. So this right here is awesome. So I'll just read just the first probably half. Bitcoin is one of the hottest currencies in the world. The cryptocurrency market almost managed to, or cryptocurrency Bitcoin almost managed to breach 50K on the market Sunday. Mainstream companies are also jumping into crypto bandwagon, reporting Apple users can also spend their Bitcoin through their native app. A report of Phone Area claims that Bitcoin and few other popular cryptocurrencies can be used for payment using on Apple Pay. And there will be an app called BitPay. What? That's freaking awesome. Allows users to buy Bitcoins as well as use the app's prepaid MasterCard and Apple Pay. The BitPay wallet will connect to both Apple Wallet and Apple Pay. So if this does not scream anything to you, I do not know what to tell you. I really don't. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. So we talked about MasterCard's adoption last week, and we had talked about MasterCard giving the thumbs up, to their merchants of 315 million in the United States alone. And then globally, they had about 700 million plus of people who use MasterCard, whether that be for business, whether that be for retail, whether that be for anything to where you have a MasterCard and you got a little money on there and you're a fan of their service or you use their service. So, just like I talked about earlier in the live stream, about 20 minutes in, 15 minutes of the stream, the adoption is here, guys. It's right here. It's right in front of you. I break these things down because the magnitude it's uncomprehendable. It's really not. And just less than 3 months ago, guys, literally no more than 4 months ago, we were sitting at a point as I was still getting called an idiot. I was still not given the support, that I was. And I mean, granted, that was 4 months ago. I've been in the space for well over that, but just the build up and the progression that we've seen from people turning their heads or putting their heads away from this space and then now turning their heads to the left, not only I guess for the potential for the return to the money aspect, but just for the fact of understanding, this is something that everyone's going to have to learn sooner or later. This is firmly something I believe that kids are going to learn in school eventually here pretty soon. Maybe my nieces, I got some young nieces who are, pretty young, and I think that this is something that they will learn about in school. And if not, maybe, possibly by the time they get to high school, maybe a class integrated in this, for blockchain management for, what I'm doing. But, if I would have had this in school, wow. I think my path would have been a little bit different at the way I took it, but I think this would have, I think my path would still be the same, but I would have definitely started my blockchain development career definitely early as probably freshman year of high school, maybe 15, 16 years old, 100%. No doubt. But just keep scrolling through the article. It's nothing too outstanding, or I'm sorry, it's great outstanding news, but it kind of covers the same points that we talked about at the top. It's not a very long article, actually. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo at the bottom. But it basically just explains BitPay, Apple will be incorporated in the Apple Wallet. You can now receive cryptocurrencies. I believe it'll probably act, we don't have all the details just yet, but I believe that it'll probably act as pretty much the same way you do Apple Pay. You send someone Bitcoin, boom, right then and there. You want to receive, probably give you QR code the same way. I would imagine Apple's interface and user adoption is really good. I'm excited to see how they structure this and how they are gonna move forward with this. I guess with the interface and the look, but I'm really excited to see how this is gonna play out because this just makes it that much more accessible. It can get difficult trying to find exchanges, signing up, putting your card info in, and getting to the exchanges still. Even get on the exchanges sometimes can be a hassle. But them having this is gonna make it just that much readily available for individuals. So amazing news, phenomenal news. Make sure you're doing good. Cool. Cut that off. About 53 minutes in, guys. Got about another 10 minutes, so we'll definitely wrap up and be quick. Wanted to cover my favorite chart. This is the Bitcoin rainbow chart right here. This was made by, I believe, Dayton. This is he's one of the blockchain centers at blockchaincenter.net. This is a super in-depth technical understanding. It goes over chart analysis, goes over volume trend, or volume and halving, and basically just all this is that it shows the entire history of Bitcoin's history of what it's going through. And I'm gonna break this down similarly. I'm gonna put this in the Patron as well. It's very, very straightforward. He did an amazing job at drafting this up and getting this prepared, for people to understand. So long story short, we can just go back, if we just want to go back to dates, go back to 2013. This was the first, so after the first halving. So the halving, what we have in Bitcoin is every single, I believe, it's not 4 years, is it? 2014, 15, 16, 17. Okay, I guess, yeah, every 4 years. But besides the point, Bitcoin is cut in half. So supply is 21 million. Circulating ever. There will never be more than 21 million. So every halving, you have half of that. So you take next halving, there will only be, I think there's only about 1,000 Bitcoins produced per day, and then after that halving, I believe it knocks down to 400-ish. But so as you can tell, just I won't go too deep into this. You can definitely do this on your own time, just because I just want to try to get in everything that we have. To get through the rest, but split. I'm so sorry, these guys, losing my train of thought. So having, it gets less and less, and honestly, just really reason I brought this up, guys, is just to show you guys, just give you a brief overview. You can look, you can take a chat, and just really take a look about really what's going on. But I'll link this in the Discord for you guys later on, and see what else we had to wrap up on. I believe. And then I just wanted to make my last comparison on the Dutch tulip bulb market bubble. So I don't know if you guys do remember this, but we weren't alive for this at all. But this is a great comparison for economics and just the way we do overall. My goodness, we do overall markets around the world. And at one point, the Dutch tulip bulb market bubble, that was definitely a thing. So long story short, there was in Amsterdam, the tulip market was a great deal of assets. So having Dutch tulips, especially the bulb kind, I believe I'm not a florist, but the most famous assets were bubble bulbs. They were flowers, and having these flowers, they were apparently the most beautiful flowers in all Amsterdam, all across the land. People would do anything to get their hands on these. And they were introduced to Holland in 1593, with the bubble occurring in 1634 to 1637. So the reason that these things were so, I believe, popular, I don't remember the whole story, but the reason that these things were so popular is, number one, for their asset value. They were very expensive to not manufacture, but go out, grow, or find, transport, and maintain. So, and that's why they held such a good store value, is that they were everything that, at the time that they were beautiful. They were high in demand, and, trends come and go. Absolute trends come and go. People like them one day, and then they throw them out the next. And then when the bubble burst, I believe the prices got so high of, people selling these, because if you had a garden, you could sell them you could take your own, you could resell them the same way. I guess you could take anything of store value. The bubble had gotten so bad, and the market fell apart. So people weren't okay with paying these high prices much anymore, because the tulip, let's see, 1634 to 1637, and even before that, 1593, that's still over 20 plus years of having a strong market of tulips. But, over time, with the exceeding prices, it came to a crash and decline. So the real world examples of extreme buying, tulip mania is what they called it, back in the Amsterdam terms. The tulip mania exists, and I wanted to bring this up into comparison for real world economics, just for that reason, just like they explain here. So the same thing happens with pretty much anything that's really worth a store of value. So I like bringing this up because you're right. Nothing goes up forever. It doesn't. It just doesn't. It's just not something that happens. And I just like to chime this in here. And there's a lot of exciting news in the space right now. There's a lot of great things going on. Great adoption numbers are going up. Market caps are going higher. People are making money. There's a lot of life changing things going on right now. And I definitely like to explain. I definitely like to put this in here into perspective, just to understand that have a plan. Stick to your plan. Don't FOMO in. Don't let your emotions really get the best you in this market, because sometimes, a lot of the time, it can hurt. And always invest what you can lose. Never invest more than what you can lose. And just really keep the emotions in check. That's the best way. That's the best thing I try to, give, I guess, newer people coming up, because it's a lot different for you guys coming in now than versus us who have been in for a couple years now, or, even just a year or two, like there's still a lot of time and growth that, that's got to be caught up. So that's really the whole reason I wanted to just give the overview for this, guys, is that, stick to your plan, have a plan, have a great time, be a sponge, just enjoy everything that this space has to offer. It's basically brand spanking new. There's so much going on in this space, and I'm beyond excited that we are getting global, we are getting adoption, and we are moving forward with everything that we need to. So absolutely, guys. Just look at the time. See, we are just coming up in our hour. I do not believe there's anything else I had to cover, guys. That is really all I had for you guys today. There's a ton that we went over today. We got through pretty much everything, which is great. I'll link. You guys know, you can just ping me, DM me, let me know what you need to know, and we can get ready for Thursday. Thursday we'll see, I'll read up today, later tonight, see what we got in store, what news we had today. I'm a bit behind. I got some other work I had to do, got some music videos to edit this week as well. But I will definitely keep you guys posted, and we will continue moving forward. So pay attention to Patreon, guys. You guys did a great job today. Thank you guys so much for everything, all the continued support, and I will see you guys not next week. I will see you guys on Thursday. All right, you guys, thank you. Be safe.